All right, everybody, welcome to Happy Hour Holidaze, the podcast where we cheers to business, entrepreneurship, and life stories. We want you to go out there and follow your dreams and make them happen. Get off your ass, stop scrolling, and go out there and make it happen. I'm your host every single week, Manny Fresh. We got the resume, Sean Fabre, and in studio today, we got a fighter. Watch out. Whoop your ass. Stevie Morgan in the house, lightweight fighter. She got a big old fight coming on April 26th. We're excited about it. Everybody else is excited about it. What's up, Stevie? Thanks for coming.
Having me.
Yeah, I know. Great. Vince, obviously you guys know Vince, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we really appreciate Youngest in the Yacht Club giving us Stevie.
Vince Serrano.
Vince Serrano. So, Stevie, tell us a little bit about, you're up. Like, I would say, we always start off in high school because, that's when we're really kind of getting into life. What kind of influenced you or, wanted you to be a fighter or, tell me a little bit about your story on how you got to this point from that point on. Or if it's earlier on, that's cool too.
No, boxing came later, but I was always an athlete growing up in school, middle school and high school. I ran track, played basketball. I played HEC for a year. So
you're from Tampa?
Yeah, born and raised here. Born and raised in Tampa, Florida.
Same here.
Oh yeah, went to Gaither High School.
Gaither, we went to Sickles.
Okay, we were rivals.
Big
rivals.
They said that, but I'm like, I was never an alma mater kind of guy. I was kind of like
same.
whatever.
But then Alonzo came along, and then because it was Gaither first, then Sickles, then Alonzo came along, and then Sickles and Alonzo. But I think overall it was always Gaither against Sickles.
Yeah, Gaither and Sickles was always the biggest rival, I think, when I was there.
What were you running in track and field?
I ran early on, like middle school, and right when I started high school, it was 100 and 200. Then it turned to the 400.
Oh shit! So like Shaqiri Williams type shit, right?
No, I was a good 400 runner for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
then
So did that. Played basketball. Went to college for a year. I wasn't tall enough. Transitioned into boxing easy. I played the Tampa Breeze.
Yeah.
The lingerie football league.
Yep.
Damn, I know a couple two girls on that team.
You dated two girls on that too.
I think it was Elise Zuckelman and Alexis Hayman. She had Hyman or Hammond. Alexis.
She might have been after me.
Yeah,
Elise, I know.
Yeah, Elise. Yeah,
Shout out to Elise.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty cool concept. I mean, is it still going on right now?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it's way more organized than it was. We kind of like pioneeered it. So
yeah.
Was
we made
it
all the
physical
mistakes.
Though? I mean,
yeah, no, it was pads on, but it was just
you
had lingerie on.
Yeah, we were hitting for real and no protection. So.
Did you ever get injured doing that?
No.
No.
Some teammates did, but I never did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, when was your transition into fighting then?
Wandered into a boxing gym. I had some friends that boxed, and wandered into a gym, and I like to compete, so wanted to do it as well. There was a little girl that was training in there. She was like, I don't know, probably 12 years old or so, and I was like, dang, I want to be like this little girl. So I fell in love with it then, and in and out of my life, boxing is a weird story for me, but finally ended up around Coach Monyette.
Monyette, shout out to Monyette right here, man.
Took me to another level.
He didn't want to jump on the camera, but we'll get him again, man.
Yeah.
So he's the one he's fully training you as far as
100%.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
I had an amateur coach. Monyette's been in and out, like he's been around my whole amateur career. But I had an amateur coach, John Casella. He kind of got me started, and if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never ran into Monyette. So,
is there something that you like about fighting, like getting anger, aggression out, or something like that?
I mean,
I know you like competing.
That's
competing.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get to like hurt people and get away with it.
And then you have to have, you have to. What is it? You have to be licensed through the Professional Boxing Association, PBA, right? Is that what it is, or is it PBR in order to fight professionally?
Every state has you have to be licensed for sure, and every state has a different license.
Did you ever get into scraps when you were in middle school or high school?
I wish.
You wish?
Yeah.
Now with knowing what you know?
Yeah. No, I've never been in a street fight.
No.
It's on my bucket list.
Oh shit. Well, so April 26th, you got a big fight coming out. Where is it at?
So April 26th, we're fighting in Medellin, Colombia.
Oh, shit. So this is
not
not even...
two-time world champion. So it's a big fight. A big step up. We'll be fighting for a WBC belt, not the world title, but at one of the regional belts. So it's a big fight.
Damn. So how many people? So what's your record right now currently?
15-2.
15-2. Damn. So you fought quite a few fights already.
Yeah.
What's been your toughest one so far?
My toughest one was Amanda Serrano.
Amanda Serrano?
Yeah.
She was tough.
How long does it normally last, these fights? Because is it like 3 rounds or is it 5 rounds?
They're all different. So most of my fights are 10-round fights now, although we'd be getting them out of there in like 1 round.
Oh, okay.
So I
Damn,
have 13.
for
I have
real?
13 knockouts.
13 knockouts? What happened to the 2 that you lost? Was it like the beginning of your career?
One was a big first step up, and I kind of won. I really won the fight. They just didn't give it to me, so I feel like I got robbed that fight.
It was a split decision?
It was a majority decision.
Oh,
yeah.
it was?
So, super close fight. I knock girls out. That's what we do, and I didn't knock her out, so the judges probably felt she deserved it. And then my second loss was Amanda Serrano, so she's the greatest female fighter in the world. Can't really knock it.
Damn. So I mean, so as far as like getting into professionally boxing, I know you walked into the gym. You're like, hey, I want to be like this chick, but like, what made you pursue it professionally?
So my first goal, I wanted to be an Olympian. I didn't really, not that I didn't care too much about turning professional, but I didn't really think too much about it. I just really wanted to be an Olympian for whatever reason, and I wanted to be the best. And so when I started competing as an amateur, that was the goal, was to be number 1 in the world. And we went for it. I started kind of late, as boxing, usually start when you're young. And my first amateur fight was when I was 28 years old. So started late, worked really hard, and we were able to close the gap somewhat. And we made it to number 3 in the country, number 3 in the United States. And then you got to be number 1 or number 2 to be able to compete, to go to the Olympics. So we got close.
Damn.
Well, it's not over yet, right? I mean, you can still go for...
No, I don't.
Because, I mean, the Olympics are going to be held in the United States next. Summer Olympics, right, is what we're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And boxing is in the Summer Olympics, I think?
Yeah, but now I'm professional, so
there's
we're way past that.
Oh, okay. So then, all right. So only amateurs can fight in the Olympics?
I think you can turn pro now and be an Olympian, but...
Hey, you really just don't want to do it.
Yeah, I've new...
What does Stevie do outside of boxing?
Outside of boxing?
Or has boxing consumed your whole world?
Boxing's pretty much my life.
No, but you got to have something that you do for fun, right?
For fun? Yeah.
Knocking bitches out.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Ooh.
So I have my own business I've had for about 11 years. And we do grab and go food at the airport.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have that going. And
for Tampa
boxing.
TPA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or TIA, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I started as a meal delivery service. It was called Cater Me Fit, and I was the first meal delivery service in Tampa. I had like 40 employees up until COVID hit. And when COVID hit, just had to shut it down. And when the airport reopened, we kept that side of the business going. And yeah.
Was it kind of like, what's that place off of just north of Lineball that Johnny's mom used to work at?
Oh, Dinner Done.
Have you ever heard of Dinner Done?
Yeah.
So
People walk in and make their dinner. And...
Well, it's just they give you like a almost done meal, and then you just take it home. You pop it into the oven. Is that kind of what it is? It was like.
The meal delivery service was more for busy professionals and athletes that wanted to eat healthy. So we delivered your breakfast, lunch, and dinner right to your house.
And then shut it down in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you follow any sports other than boxing?
I mean, women's basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So great debate here. Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese?
I'm a Caitlin Clark fan.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Shout out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, shit. So what do you think when Angel Reese says, yo, they're watching because of me too, but Caitlin Clark's putting up the numbers?
I'm not going to get in the middle of that.
No?
Nah.
So what does it take to be a boxer of your level? Like, what kind of dedication? What are we talking about day in and day out?
I think the most important thing is a good team and a good coach. So I would say that's like first and foremost. Aside from the discipline and the hard work, definitely your team and who's teaching you everything. So number one, as far as the discipline and the hard work, like you have to work harder than everybody.
Yeah.
all the time. It's an all day thing. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no days off. Like it's a constant grind.
Can you take us through your daily routine then?
So typical, especially in camp. So in camp, I mean, he'll tell you better than me, but let's say like wake up at 4:30 and run, come back, rest, eat.
Run how far?
It depends on the day, but 3 to 4 miles typically on a Monday through Friday. We do 10 on Saturdays. But so do that. Go to the gym at 8:30. Come back, rest, recover. Go back at 2:30. Come back, rest, recover, and back at it at 7.
Holy shit.
So what do you do for the mental aspect of it? Because physical is one thing, but when it comes to mental, when you're talking about, hey, I want to be the best in the whole world, what do you do, or who's your mentor, or what else do you have that helps you with your mental game? Because I mean, I feel like in sports, I mean, that's the number one thing. I mean, you can be as physical as you want, you can be as talented as you want, but if you don't have the mental game, you're gonna fucking fall
Yeah,
apart.
and like there's a lot of athletes that have mental coaches.
Yeah,
Also.
there's such a thing, and I didn't know that was a thing
Mhm.
until I did get into the level that we have. Monyette tells the truth all the time, and he always takes you through those mental reps. It's a lot in training too, like never like pushing yourself past where your body can go every day, no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter if you're sick, we're still in there. If you have COVID, we're still in there. If something hurts, you're still in there. So like coming in the gym and giving yourself like 1,000% every day, no matter what, and just putting yourself through those mental reps all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and then how does it get to the point where what was one of those inflection points where you're like, damn, man, like, can I be number one? Or was your mindset always, I don't give a shit? I never had a point where you're just like, maybe this is not for me. Or was it always, no, this is for me. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it was always this is for me. So it's like it doesn't matter. Maybe it's gonna take 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna take 20. You know, maybe it'll take 2, but
Yeah.
it's gonna work out for me. Like there's no, and that's just with everything in our life. Like whatever you want to do, you can do it for sure. It's not like there's no plan B.
So
Yeah.
you just literally always had a killer mentality. I'm not gonna fail. I'm always gonna achieve what I set out to achieve.
Yep, and not just in boxing. That's in everything in life.
Yeah. And what is the driving factor behind that? I mean, did you, I guess, have a hard childhood or something like that? You know, or
I mean, everybody has a story, right?
yeah,
But,
we want to know your story.
Just typical dysfunction. Like I don't know. It's not really. I don't say that it motivates me at all. I don't think if that makes sense.
But it built up some anger, maybe?
Well, maybe not anger, motivation, driving factor, wanting to succeed at something that you, because it seems like you never doubted yourself that you can be a champion, which is what champions are made of, right?
Yep, definitely. We always aim, ever since, even as an amateur, it was always we're training for the number one girl in the world. And even now we're training for the number one girl in the world, and we go for perfection, and what's get close, You might not reach it, but you're going to get close. So, I don't know. We never really know like how far we're going to go in this or where you're going to end up, but it's like the journey that are in love with, right?
Yeah, they say shoot for the stars shoot for the moon because
fall in the stars.
You'll still end up in the stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you end up on the lingerie football? Like, how was that like transition? Because I know you started off like right when it started. So how did that whole organization kind of start, and how did you get involved in it?
Same thing. I'm just competitive. I overheard some people talking about it, and I was like, "There's women's tackle football. Like, I want to do that." And found out who I needed to talk to, how to try out, and yeah.
What was the pay like?
It was crappy. It was like $50 a game.
Are you shitting me? Damn,
It was like a professional cheerleader, like.
But weren't they selling tickets at like $25 or something per person inside? It was in Emily Arena, wasn't it? I mean, would they get packed?
Yeah, it was sold out.
Yeah. And
yeah, we didn't get paid.
$50 a game.
I think now the girls have contracts.
Yeah.
I think it's a little better.
So they didn't even
at
sign
the start.
None whatsoever. No. And then, like, I mean, I'm assuming as a professional boxer, you have contracts. Do you have an agent?
My manager and trainer.
Manager
right
and trainer, yeah.
Yep.
So boxing's a little bit different from, like, say, football or soccer, hockey, basketball, I'm assuming.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. Like some fighters have agents, I'm sure, or promoters and different managers and stuff. I just got lucky and have them all in one.
So then when you fly out to Colombia and you're about to box in Medellin, are you doing anything in Colombia? Are you sightseeing? Are you having a good time? Or are you just like 100% focused? Nothing could deter you and you're just in the hotel room waiting for the fight?
Yeah, we travel all over the world, but we don't really see everything because when you're going for a fight, you have, I wouldn't say butterflies, but you're focused on the fight. So to do anything before the fight is never going to happen. And then we just go handle business and leave. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
no sightseeing going on.
does this sound like a job then? It's like a job almost,
Yeah,
unless you
I'm a
really like it.
professional. It's my job for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I guess another question here is, where's the coolest place that you've been to?
Coolest place I've been to. Dang.
She's like, I can't really remember because all I was worried about is knocking the person's
Yeah, I
head
know.
off.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
really
When I
what
talk
it
to
is.
Where's the
Stevie, I feel
coolest-
like Stevie's so focused that,
Yeah.
it's just like there's nothing
I
else,
don't know the coolest place.
Or, like some place that you enjoyed. I mean, I know you really don't get to sightsee or anything because you're just focused on ripping somebody's head off, but at the same
There's got to
time,
be something memorable.
is this like the one?
Colombia's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've been there. We've been there a couple times, and food's good.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to the boxing aspect of it and the professional tour, I mean, how many places are you traveling? It's all over the world, or is it just on the United States?
Oh no, we fight in the United States, all over the world. For sparring, we travel all over the world. So, we're all over.
Now, as far as like, do you have a lot of like sponsors or something to kind of keep the cost going when you're going to all these different places? Because I mean, it's costly, and I mean, what are we talking about when you win a bout or when you fight in a bout? Like, how much money are you making over here?
What are the purses like?
I mean, they vary.
Yeah.
They vary. So sometimes you're not getting paid. Sometimes you're getting paid good, but the purses vary. Yes, we do get sponsors for each fight, or I've had good sponsors along the way for sure. Looking for sponsors.
There we go.
Sponsor me.
Want to shout out any of your sponsors?
Right now, do we want to shout out any sponsors at this moment? Yeah, we have Esposito Law, a law firm here in Tampa, actually.
I've heard of Esposito
Yeah,
Law. Yeah.
cool guy. Hot Works sponsors me. College Hunks, Hauling Junk.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, Roman and Omar, they've been helping me out since I turned pro. So yeah.
How do you go about, like, do they reach out to you or do you reach out to them? Do you have a team that is actively searching for sponsors for you, or how does that work?
Sometimes they reach out. Luckily I've met in the business community. I've come across a lot of people and was able to network. Have a team that helps me out too. So it's kind of a team effort.
What would you say is probably the biggest obstacle an up and coming fighter as a female has to face if they want to be at the level that you want to be?
The biggest obstacle for a woman, I would say, is the pay.
It is?
Yeah, because we have to do all the same things the men have to do. We still have to train 3 times a day to be on this level, right? So to be on this level takes 100% dedication. Like, there is nothing else you can do. And we just, at least men are getting paid for it so they can afford to live that life. And as a woman, it's just not.
So what would you say? So then do you have to like take other jobs as well when you're up and coming in order to be
I mean, a lot of women are entrepreneurs. A lot of fighters have jobs. But that will also hinder you from making it to the level.
Because you can't like afford enough time to just
So you have
commit
pick-
to it for what sounds like 16 hours a day.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
your life. So there is no
How'd
there's
you
no time for a
overcome that?
job.
How'd you overcome that?
I've had my own business, and probably the biggest reason that I started the business was because I learned when I was playing basketball, I was only able to come in and train one time, and I had to go leave for a job, and the coach was like, the girls are saying, oh, they're coming back for their second and third training session of the day. And I'm like, dang, what if I could train 3 times a day? Like, how much better could I be? And so that's what kind of like turned me into an animal to think of, what can I do that could work itself so that I could focus on what I want to do.
So you've also had amateur fights, I'm assuming, right? How many fights in the amateur ranks did you have before you decided that, hey, I'm turning professional?
That was about almost 40, probably about 40 fights.
Holy cow, 40 over a period of what time?
It was like 3 years, 4 years.
What's the recovery period like? I'm assuming they didn't hurt you then, because if you had that many fights,
Shoot, amateur, you're just go all the time. You could fight every week. A lot of the tournaments that were in there, 5-day tournaments, so you're making weight and fighting multiple times in it, back to back to back.
you ever been knocked out?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Damn, so you knocked out. So your amateur record, what's your amateur record?
It was like 40-8, something like that.
Holy cow. Never been knocked out either. Now, have you ever seen stars?
I saw stars. I saw stars one time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As an amateur? As
amateur.
What made you choose boxing instead of like UFC fighting?
Oh, that's a good question.
I feel like maybe it's just my personal opinion, but I wasn't around you. I wasn't around any MMA fighting, so maybe had I probably would have maybe. But I feel like you have to start as a child for sure. There's so many, so many disciplines that you need to learn, and I don't feel like you could be good overnight. Like that's not
something you can start
how can
off
you
later
dedicate
on,
your
right?
life? Yeah, how can you start late and master all of these things? You can maybe master one, but 5 or 6, I'm not sure.
Who do you look up to as far as like an athlete when you were younger and you decided to become a boxer? It could be male or female. Who it doesn't matter.
Shoot, we study all the greats in all the sports. So Kobe. I was a Candace Parker fan. All the old fighters like Charlie Burley and Salvador Sanchez, and just anybody that was at the top in any sport. Like that's who we study.
Muhammad Ali?
For sure.
Yeah.
1000%.
What do you think about his personality, his candor with the media, where he was so eloquent and poetic? I mean, it was kind of inspiring. I mean, what he says, like, hey, I murdered a rock. I've paralyzed the stone. Man, I'm so quick. Or no, I'm so sick. I'm so what? I don't know what he says, but I make medicine sick. And I'm like, bro, this guy could talk. He was so charismatic. And
he was a great talker.
And he was able to sell himself because, I mean, he lost fights. A lot of people don't know that. At least our generation, the older people watched it. But they didn't realize that Muhammad Ali didn't win every fight. And he's been knocked out too. But his ability to brand himself to be so eloquent and poetic is the reason why he rise through the ranks, because people wanted to hear him talk.
Yeah, you can't just look at him only for his boxing ability, but what he turned himself to be as an entertainer
and motivational speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, there's some motivational speeches that I listen to, and it's like a compilation, and there'll be a plug of Muhammad Ali, and I'm like, damn, bro, this motherfucker said that, and it just blows my mind that he was able to come up with that.
So, what sport do you think mastered entertaining?
Probably boxing.
Mm-mm.
No?
The NFL? WWE?
Oh, yeah, there you go. WWE.
So if you see Muhammad Ali, that's who he studied. Wrestlers. They've mastered it, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really like Mike Tyson. I just liked how he was just like fucking didn't give a shit. I mean, I don't know how much coke he was on sometimes, but motherfucker, I just liked his like kill mentality. And that's what I feel like I see in you, Stevie. It's just like when you look at you, you're like, dude, I'm not here to fuck around. I'm just here to knock your head off. And that's what you need to be a fucking boxer. There's no fear. There's just pretty much, hey, I'm coming in. I'm gonna win. There's nothing about it.
Yeah. There's
you spar with men?
I do.
Yeah. You've knocked out some men too.
I have. No, we get. Unfortunately, there's not many women who box, and then there's not many that box on a high level. So getting women sparring is hard. So we have to spar men.
But in the same weight class, I'm assuming. It's not like you're going above your weight class?
With men?
Yeah.
No. We'll spar anybody, though.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
All right, guys. When we get back with Happy Hour Holidays, we'll continue the story with Stevie over here. And, like, comment, and subscribe. And we appreciate all the fans out there. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Happy Hour Holidays. Manny had to step out of the office. Life happens. And now, as guest host, we got Monyette of Monyette Boxing. All right. And this guy has been boxing fighting and boxing since he was 6 years old. And how old are you now?
41 now.
41 here.
Yeah.
41. So shit, man, that's a long time. And I wonder, how did you meet Stevie? Because you are her trainer
Yeah.
and her coach, manager, and shit, friend,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So how did it all come about? How did you meet? And I mean, yeah.
We met through a mutual acquaintance. It's like Stevie was boxing. I didn't think she was boxing for real. And then, one day I was around there and I was like, "Oh, you want to box for real?" And she's like, "Yeah." But then I still didn't take it serious until I met a trainer that was training her, named John Casella. And the stuff he was teaching her, and she was like on the phone talking to me about like I got to do this, I got to do this, and I was like, "Man, you want to box for real?" So it got my attention. Yeah,
And since then, I mean, how long ago was that?
that was like 8 years ago.
8 years ago? Oh shit.
Yeah.
So
He came and watched me spar.
you were
Yeah.
19.
Hmm?
Because you're 27 now, right?
Definitely not. I wish.
Yeah, she ain't nice.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 36.
Oh, I thought you said you were 27.
No, my first amateur fight was when I was 28.
Oh, okay. And but you got some good you had some good questions back there. All fair. You were coming up with some good stuff. What were some of those questions that we want the people to see? We want the people to hear from Stevie.
It's about something like who were some of her dream opponents? Like 3 dream opponents she would have loved to fight
You'll
in
give me
any
3.
era.
You didn't want to answer it either. Or do you?
If I could pick any female to fight that ever lived, I'd probably love to get in the ring with Christy Martin.
It's one.
Yeah,
2
that'd
more.
be 2 more. Lucia Riker.
2.
That'd be
That'd be a good one.
yeah,
That'd be a
good
banger.
one. Hmm.
Yeah.
And who would be another one from back then?
Queen Elizabeth.
I'd get her out of there in 1 for sure.
In 1. How about in like 10
Sorry,
seconds?
the queen.
I mean, well, she's dead now, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I could fight anybody, it probably would be, and just to see, is Genghis Khan. But I would need a sword or a gun, and he'd have to be no weapons. What about you?
Oh, with me, my favorite fighter of all time is Roberto Duran.
Okay.
So I love to just fight him, probably with just hand wraps on, no gloves or nothing, just me and him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to go all the way back, old school, bare knuckle almost.
And I know we were talking a little bit off air also about celebrity. I know you don't want to answer that question. That you would like to meet, celebrity you would like to meet.
I gotta think about that one.
What about you?
I would love to meet Sugar Ray Robinson.
Sure.
He
Yeah.
died.
Non-boxer, non-fighter.
You see, that's all we do is boxing.
I know, I get
So it's
it.
hard to ask other questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably, I would have loved to meet Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. Okay, I like
Malcolm
it.
X. I would have
Historical
loved.
figure.
Good one.
Yeah,
I'd like to meet probably Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar. Yeah.
I mean, the guy dominated all of Europe. It was wild. But let me stand back here. I mean, you got some good fighting questions for her.
Yeah. What's your top 3 favorite female fighters of all time?
Top 3 favorite. Lucia Riker for sure. I mean,
Christian Martin.
yeah, Christy Martin's my
Yeah.
favorite. I liked watching Ann Wolf knock everybody out.
You're gonna name yourself, right?
People that are alive right now.
Yeah, don't matter.
I am
Yeah,
my
it could be
favorite
you.
fighter.
Or you could name yourself
I'm my
too.
favorite fighter for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
And he said that you had 5 belts.
Hmm.
What were they?
So I was a UBO world champion, WBF world champion, ABF world champion, WBN world champion. What's the other one? I think I defended it. I had like an intercontinental belt, won, and then got the world. So that would be 5.
So then, are you just fighting light heavyweight throughout all those belt victories, right?
Not light heavyweight.
Or I'm sorry,
Lightweight.
lightweight. Yeah. Lightweight throughout all those. Yeah.
I would. I'll fight anybody. I could go. I can go up. I can go down.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't?
Just if opportunity comes.
Yeah. And in terms of opportunities, because we were talking about this, there isn't much for women in terms of the pay disparity, and is I mean, what are we talking about here? You said you fought for free sometimes as a
Yeah, I mean,
professional.
sometimes we have to pay for fights.
What?
Yeah, that's just how boxing is.
Pay to enter?
It's
Pay to
it's more
play,
like
basically.
it's more like you covering yourself to even get a fight, because a lot of people don't even support women boxing.
hmm
So the whole point of, they say, I'm not paying you nothing to fight on our show. So now here we go, fighting and not getting anything out of it.
Just to get the exposure.
And
Isn't
paying is
that-
like paying for your hotel, paying for the flight, and you come out in the red.
Aren't
Mhm.
most of these fights pay-per-view though?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
So all right, so let's say there's a major boxing event, and let's talk to the uneducated boxing viewer. Let's say that there's an event that is being hosted for men's boxing. Are there women on that day as well, or do women have a separate day and men's boxing takes place on another day?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, they're all together, but not too many promoters support women's boxing or are promoting women's boxing. So
Why is that? I'm just
I don't know if there's just the viewership isn't there. I'm not sure. Like we'd have to ask a promoter to be honest, but there's probably like a handful you can count on one hand of women that are signed to promoters that we know, and everybody else is like the other thousands of girls are just fending for themselves out here. So
so would it make
hoping
sense?
for an opportunity to fight one of those five, you know.
Would it make sense to actually start a women's boxing promotion company?
It could. I believe MVP is trying to do that. I think they're supporting women's boxing heavy, and with Amanda Serrano being the pioneer of that, and they just signed like 4 more females. So Jake Paul, I think. I mean, right now he's the only one doing it.
Jake Paul, as in the
Yeah, Jake Paul.
yeah.
hmm
So he's starting. What is MVP? I'm sorry,
Most valuable promotions. It's Jake Paul's promotion.
and he's promoting. Is it social media fights? Is what he's promoting, or is he promoting?
No, he's promoting real women's boxing.
really.
hmm
And
He's trying to. I don't know what you would say, but he's trying to not just promote women's boxing, but he's trying to get the exposure that women need and the pay that women deserve. And he's a huge advocate for women's boxing.
when did he start that? Is it recent that he's been promoting women's boxing now, or
I'm not sure exactly like
Like a
as far as
year ago?
years, but a couple years for sure.
Few years,
yeah?
few years now.
And do you see it as something that is gonna grow? Hopefully, I mean, where is he releasing these fights? It's pay-per-view, right?
So these are being exposed on Netflix. So I think he's doing a good job, whether we're a part of it or not. He's doing a good job of finally getting eyes on women's boxing, and I think that's the biggest issue with women getting paid and women getting signed with big promoters is because not too many. There's not boxing in general. Like it's not mainstream anymore. It used to be on TV. It used to be, you used to see the Olympics on TV, and it's just not getting the exposure that it was. So the fans aren't. There's not a fan base.
Have they reached out to you, or?
I mean, I fought on their show when I fought Amanda Serrano. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we did get the opportunity.
And
But it's like women's basketball. Like Caitlin Clark got a contract for what, 76 grand? It's
yeah,
just
but I
not-
mean, through her promotions, through her sponsorships in Nike.
Yeah, you got to
and-
get money from other ways.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like Tiger Woods only made $192 million on the PGA Tour, but he made his billion.
Yeah, but only
you're a sponsor.
192 million.
I mean, that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I ain't complaining about
compared to
that.
76 grand. I mean,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
can't.
but I'm not debating that fact, but also viewership,
It's viewership.
which you brought up. I
Yeah.
mean, if people aren't watching, it's not making money.
Yeah,
right?
if people aren't watching it,
But
it's
the
fair
problem
that
is
they
that
wouldn't get paid.
if it's not being promoted, that's why people aren't watching it, because they don't know that it's on.
They don't know it exists.
Yeah. So I mean, Jake Paul, shout out Jake Paul. Good for you
Yep.
for trying to put new eyes on the sport, because I don't know about you. I like watching sports, period. I don't care if it's women's boxing or men's boxing. I like watching sports. And if there's nothing on TV, I'm not gonna put on like Big Bang Theory. I'm gonna go to the nearest sports that I can find, and I'm gonna turn it on and I'm gonna watch it. So I mean, I do understand the disparity in wages, and it sucks. It sucks for you.
Yeah,
Sucks for you.
sucks for women, but
Yeah.
and then it's just boxing in general. Like
Now,
boxing in general, MMA. Like you have to
that
pay to be a fan.
do you think that UFC has actually taken some viewership away from boxing?
I
This is a
don't.
question for both of you.
I don't know if it's taking it away, but I think it has more exposure, right? Like more people are watching it because you have more access, maybe.
I
What do
believe
you think?
MMA taken away because years ago,
Yeah, boxing.
MMA wasn't around,
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
and boxing was the number one sport.
Yep.
But now when MMA came, MMA believe in the best fighting the best, and boxing kind of so political now, where the best don't fight the best. So of course we losing some of that steam we had
Yeah.
years ago. But it's still up there. Just it could be better if the
Mhm.
best challenge the best more.
So let me ask you. You said boxing is political. So basically, you have to get people to want to have you fight the best, or like, what do you mean by that?
Political is like it's like
You
this
gotta,
side is against this side.
yeah.
So it's like a lot of people want to control their own money, and their money is on their side. So they don't want to bring you in and give you a chance to take some of their money away. So it's more political on how
So it's kind of like who you know.
they kind of pick who they want to be the champion. And
How do they pick it though?
because the best don't fight the best. They almost giving belts away now. Almost.
You know, like the last fight I saw that what I would assume the best would fight the best was Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, which was like I'm pretty sure that was like 5 years ago or 6 years ago or maybe even further
Longer,
back.
yeah, longer than that.
Yeah, maybe like 8 or 9,
Yeah,
10
yeah.
years ago. And I remember it was a big deal because we went to a hotel to watch the event on a projector screen, and there was rows of seats, like not even at the actual fight, just to watch the fight on a projector screen. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like, shit, this is what boxing is. I feel like after that fight, I mean, it kind of UFC took over almost.
The reason why is because the whole world almost stopped to watch that fight because it was the best against the best. But when
Mhm.
they seen the outcome, it was like, oh, this boxing,
Pacquiao
it
should
just
have
hit and not be hit. It's like it's not entertaining like MMA is. MMA, you see a lot of blood, you see people tapping out, you see knockouts with the smaller gloves. And in boxing, it's a sweet science. You got to know what you're looking at to enjoy it. And for a regular fan, he don't know what he's looking at when he's watching boxing, but a fighter do. Like you could watch Shakur Stevenson and say, like, wow, man, I can't get into it. But you could take me and I watch Shakur Stevenson. I say, wow, man, that's some beautiful boxing. So it's like really on what people want to see. People want to see blood and they want to see knockouts, see people teeth flying out their mouth. But in boxing, you see like the sweet signs, and then if you keep watching, you'll eventually see the knockouts and how this person break them down.
So
Do you think the politics has something to do with that? Like fighters have learned to hit and not be hit and are scared to fight more because if they lose, they're not going to get that next opportunity. Like, do you think that has something to do with it?
Oh yeah, it have a lot to do with it. It's more like they control on who they want people to see. They want people to see the Rocky Balboa movie
yeah,
now, so they put the not too smart fighters in there now. You don't see high level boxers fighting each other no more. You see the ones that come in, rock 'em, sock 'em, and that's
except
what's
for
selling.
on April 26th, where we're gonna see two high level fighters fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's,
But I mean, you're right. I mean, what people want to see is blood, right?
Yeah.
And maybe, great question. You think Rocky fucked it up for everybody?
Rocky brought a lot of attention to boxing. It just when the best is not fighting the best, it's like that's what's killing boxing really.
And that's
what
what he
I've-
made me, he instilled in me is like to be a successful fighter in general. Like, of course, you have to win, but to make people want to see you, have to knock these girls out. And so that's always been from the beginning. I wasn't allowed to turn pro until I started stopping people in the gym. And once I was able to do that, he allowed me to turn pro. But that's the whole thing. Like, unless you're knocking people out, they're not going to want to see you. So,
I mean, that's pretty much a fact. I mean, that's great advice in my opinion,
Yeah,
because
so that's
as an average viewer that doesn't really know too much about boxing, other than I've taken classes here and there. I mean, nothing to the level of what you guys are at, but I mean, shit. When I look at it, I understand when they're slipping and I get it, but I want to see someone get knocked the fuck out.
hmm
Now, not too quick either. I mean, let's put on a show a little bit. I'm paying per view. I mean, it's nice to see someone get knocked out in 5 seconds. Actually, that's cool as shit.
Mhm.
But no, I get it. I get why the sport is. I wouldn't say struggling, because it's not. I mean, you got, like you said, is it Logan Paul the one that
Jake
fights
Paul.
though?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul's the one with the promotion company, but the one that fights is
Jake.
it's Jake
Jake,
Paul.
yeah.
I watched his fight with what was it, Mike Tyson?
Oh yeah. How'd you
Yeah,
feel
what a
about that?
fucking sham.
Yeah, you was expecting a knockout.
Yeah, I was
Mike
expecting
Tyson
Mike
especially,
Tyson
yeah.
to knock him out.
Yeah, for sure.
And then instead, what do I get? Fucking
Sparring
But-
session.
yeah.
But did you see the girls fight before then?
No.
Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
Now they put on the show.
And maybe that's where the promotion therein lacks, because they didn't promote that fight. I mean, yeah, it was in the undercard, but what they really want to see is the main event.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of the other fights,
See?
just that one.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, because they were still pay-per-view, whether you watched it or not.
Mhm.
They should, in their contract, at least state that there's a percentage that is delineated to the fighter while they're performing during that event, because they bought it for the event, not for the one fight, even though some people did.
Yeah. You
Does
would
that make
think.
sense?
Yeah, a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it does kind of go back to a question: is why not UFC? And I know you said because you have to learn this stuff at a young age, but I mean, shit.
I mean, I'll fight anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, MMA and boxing, it's like it got its own
hmm
goods and bads. It's like in MMA, them guys are,
That's like real brutal.
you got to be ready for everything.
Well, smaller gloves.
Yeah. And then shout out to Blake Smith. I train MMA.
Yeah,
Martin
the
Lay
fight
him down
coming up.
Brown. He did MMA.
And shout out his fight. What is it?
Martin Brown, Blake Smith fight April the 19th in Tampa, and then Martin Brown and Edgar Delgado. They fight
Where in Tampa is
April
it?
25th in Clearwater.
Is it in the Emily Arena?
No.
Where in the 19th?
The 19th is I don't have the address yet, but it's in Tampa for sure. And then April 25th is Star Boxing in Clearwater. Martin Brown and Edgar Delgado, and all of them did MMA, and Blake still do MMA. Yeah.
I went to a couple MMA events. One in Orlando, actually, where Vince was supposed to fight, but I guess his opponent backed out or whatever it was, and I haven't been able to see him fight in person. But I mean, I didn't realize there was this many events going on in this area. I mean, like, it's happening multiple times a month. I mean, there goes the promotion, right? Because they're not promoting it. Maybe they're promoting it through social media, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
They're not promoting it on TV. I'm not seeing it. I mean, and most of those events that you're talking about, the fighters are fighting for free, right?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, they're getting paid.
Yeah, they getting paid.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
for sure. It's just the whole point. It's not pay-per-view, so regular people don't know about it.
Mhm.
You kind of got to be involved in the sports to keep up with what's going on in your area.
So then do you see a lot of the same audience members show up to the same fights, maybe also the same? So essentially it's the whole community coming in, buying the tickets, and probably showing up to support the fighters.
Yeah.
Right?
Every fighter got his own fan base, so they able to get tickets out and get their people in there, and then the promotion got his own fan base, and different fighters just bring different crowds.
And is it from like different parts of the country? It's not like everybody just from Tampa. It's probably some other people from different parts of the country also
yeah.
fighting.
Yeah, for sure. People from New York, people come in from Canada,
Oh, fuck.
Florida, all over. Yeah.
And you're not from Florida.
No.
You are from Memphis, Tennessee. My wife's from Clarksville, Tennessee,
Oh,
so
wow.
the other side of the state.
yeah.
But why Tampa? I'm just curious. Why'd you decide to move to Tampa?
I moved from Memphis to Las Vegas first, and I was in
Yeah.
Vegas like 9 years, training and helping fighters, and then I moved here when COVID hit, and then Stevie, she was the reason I came here too because of her dedication to the sport. And I told her, I said, I said, the only way you're gonna really make it, I said, I got to kind of be around you too. So that's how that happened. So I came when COVID hit, and we hit the ground running.
I'm gonna ask this question for Vince. You don't have to name nobody,
Yeah,
but I promise Vince. How do you feel about the business of boxing and women's boxing in general?
it's a bad time to ask me about women boxing because you know,
I asked it, Vince.
yeah, it's the business of boxing is like normal, but women boxing is kind of harder than men boxing, really, because it's like giving women authority, you know, and they just don't know how to use it, don't know how to use the authority, so they like kind of, you know, head. I mean, I say head swell up, fucking head swell up, and next thing you know, they think that they can replace you with anybody and make you feel like you wasn't even there at the beginning. It's weird, but women boxing is I'm starting not to like it. I mean, and I was one of the ones that really supported it. Like I trained females, so but it's like I'm starting to not like it too much, you know.
Anybody that in particular may have pissed you off, or
No, just the fight game, just what come with
I'm
it.
trying to dig in there.
Yeah,
But
just
I
yeah.
can't say it.
There's no
Yeah.
friends in boxing.
There's no friend. Yeah, okay. And this was a good one that you pointed out, and so did you. It's a lonely world, right?
Very lonely world.
You mentioned that like specifically. You said, this is it. Like your friends are the ones in the gym, your family, and nobody else.
Yeah, and it's family's even hard to say because we don't see them much either. You know, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. He's away from his family. I'm away from my family. Fighters have to be away from their family. Like you miss birthdays, you miss everything. You miss everything. You just
Anniversaries, I'm assuming.
everything. Yeah. So you kind of be a bad kid to your parents. You kind of be a bad parent to your kids. Can't really cultivate any kind of friendships and things like that. And then in the gym, you feel like that would be the few friends you do have, and that's not even true. So yeah, it's a lonely world.
So it's kind of like it's a lonely road
Mm-hmm.
that you travel, and even so you're just alienated.
Yeah.
Essentially. But what people don't realize is that is what's necessary.
Definitely.
In order to succeed, because relationships are our job. I don't care what anybody says. Relationships are a motherfucking job. All right. You're spending this much time on your relationship. That means you're not spending this much time on your goal, your dream, and your parents may not understand. Your friends may not understand, but it's not their fucking purpose to understand. It is your purpose to understand what you want. You don't need validation from anybody as long as you are on the road that you chose to be on.
Yeah. So people that are not in our world, they'll say, oh, well, you need to figure out balance and, this, and you need to make time for everything.
Fuck that.
So I don't know who said it. It was Tim Grover. Somebody, like, balance is an illusion. Like, balance, you add more things to your plate rather than focus on one thing. So balance is crap, And, that's how we feel.
Well, the fact of the matter is, let's put it this way. You can't expect people that have never achieved what you're trying to achieve to understand what you're doing. And you can never ask for validation from those people because you're going to be somewhere where they've never been.
Yeah.
And they don't understand the journey.
Especially in this sport. Like maybe football players can go
It's not just in sport. It's in life. It's in business.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Yeah.
But especially in boxing. Like boxing is one of those very unforgiving sports. Like if you take a break one day, one moment, like maybe football has teammates, or basketball has teammates, like maybe they can afford to go hang out one night, or they might go drink something or go take a vacation, right? Boxing, we can't afford those things. We can't have one off day because our life is on the line when we get in there.
Yeah.
And you might go hang out with somebody and you can literally die. Yeah. So it's not like, that's a fact. It's not like a guess. Mm-hmm. And that's just the sport that we're in. So there is no fun. There is no hanging out. There's no smoking. There's no drinking. There's no extracurricular activities. Like ever since I've never been on vacation. Like there's no breaks because the moment that you do, something bad could like like something
Well,
bad
the
could
moment
happen.
that you do, somebody is out there working
Somebody's working harder than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have already realized that.
But when you get in the ring, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You're by yourself. So anything that you've done or did, or if you're not, like you're in there by yourself, you don't have a whole team to like bail you out.
If you are not fully prepared at that moment, at the end of the day, all the consequences fall on you, which could be death. Because there's been many boxers that died in the ring.
Yeah. It's the hurt business. I think we just seen it was like 13 fighters average that die a year. We don't hear about them all. So it's like, yeah.
That's the truth about boxing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about it because it'll detour a lot of kids from wanting to do it. It's a lot of deaths in it. It's a lot of comas. It's a lot of people who's, like vegetables right now.
We just recently lost a friend to boxing in Carson.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
It come with the territory. So it's like when you training, you're not just training to just win. You're really training to kill. But people don't like to talk about it. It's like when we're in the gym training, torturing ourselves, it's really to try to really get rid of them.
I mean, that's the whole goal, is to battle.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, you're going to war.
I mean, that guy's not your friend.
Nah.
Or girl is not your friend. They're there to hurt you.
They're trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to knock you the fuck out. And with that, we'll be right back with Happy Hour Holidaze. Welcome back to Happy Hour Holidaze, where I am the host, since Manny is not here. And I am clearly an alcoholic. Let's fucking go. So we left off at... where did we leave off, guys?
Lonely sport.
Lonely sport. Yes, lonely sport. And people not understanding that this, and friends, family, not understanding that this is what it is. And it's in life, it's in business, it's in everything, every aspect of our life. How does one overcome that? Both of you have done it. Both of you have gone through it. What's the advice to the individuals that are maybe pursuing it now on how to deal with, let's say, relationships with families and friends, and how to tell them, hey, listen, you're not on the same path I am. And, how'd you guys do it?
You kind of just can't feel bad about it.
That's right.
Yeah. You kind of had to be selfish, but in a good way, if that makes sense. Like, it is, you got to be selfish, and people are going to try to pull at you and not understand, and you just can't feel bad, even though you will sometimes. Sometimes we feel bad, but at the end of the day,
they're not paying your bills.
They're not paying the bills, and not even money. It's just, it's a personal thing, and this is my path, and this is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. You've actually dealt with it because you're since 1920s is what you said.
I have a cousin, Henry Armstrong. He probably, if you had to say the greatest fighters ever lived, he'll be one of them, top 3 probably. But he was back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and he paved the way for me with my family. He's my cousin on my mom's side, so it's like, wow, you kind of, if you compete, of course you can stay average with everybody, just competing. But if you want to win, you got to be selfish to winning, because winning is selfish, They don't care how hard you train, you still got to...
I'm going to say that again. Winning is selfish?
Yeah, winning is selfish.
Winning does not care.
They don't care about nobody.
Oh, you mean... Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so it's like...
That's philosophical right there.
Yeah.
So it's more like you got to put in the time. You got to take time away from family and friends and hanging out and all that, just so you can win. And sometimes winning still don't give it to you. You get in a fight, still might not get your hand raised. But it's like, that's a risk that we take,
And we were also talking about the pure violence of the sport and how people have died, and that's what kind of turns off a lot of people on wanting to maybe join boxing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to overcome that. What would you give fighters advice in terms of people that want to start fighting, maybe amateur level or professional level? Like, hey, this is actually a risk.
What I do is soon people walk into my gym. First, I ask their goals, and their goals got to be big enough for me to even want to help them.
Hey, you were telling me that, yeah.
Yeah,
And what'd you say? You said it's not enough to just want to be a world champion.
yeah. It's not being a world champion. Nothing material can a material thing can't be your goal. It got to be something big. It got to be like changing your family life. It got to be doing this for your country. It got to be as big as just find something to be special.
You just want to be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
greatness is somebody special. Like you can name on one hand the greatest fighters ever lived. You can't name on one hand how many world champions it was. So many of those.
That's a great fucking
Yeah,
point.
you want to be special in boxing because it's a big risk. And then the second thing I tell them is I point all the people on the wall. I say all these champions on the wall. This guy right here, he homeless and broke. This guy right here, he's in a coma. This guy blind because of boxing. These guys, these two died in the ring. I tell them the truth about it, and I let them give them a choice, give them a chance to really come back to me and let me know if they still want to do it. And if they still want to do it, now they know the risk that's involved. Like you gotta like be willing to kill, really, really be willing to die if you want to kill something. Yeah.
He made me
What-
take a whole year before
Took one match.
so I fought for my first amateur fight, and then before I had my second amateur fight, he told me to take a whole year to study boxing and to study
The history.
the history of boxing, the greats of boxing, but also all the bad things that could happen to you, to make sure like this is the path you want to go, so that by the time like we're doing this, like we know what we signed up for. So he made me take a whole year and like really make sure like this is what you want to do, because if this is what you're gonna do, this is what can happen. Are you okay with that?
What made you think to yourself? Not think to yourself. You decided, yes, this is okay.
I mean, what's the alternative?
Not sure.
I don't know. You can get hit by a car. Like,
Plane could flip upside down, roll over on a
yeah, I'd rather
tarmac.
die trying to be great than
Yeah.
die walking down the street. I don't know.
And then you came to terms where you're like, this is what I want. I'm willing to die or kill for it. And I mean, that's honestly what seems to be the reason why you're so successful in boxing, is because you came to terms with that. And damn, bro, great coaching strategy where, hey, this is what can happen. Research this shit. Make sure 100% you're okay with this, because you have to come to terms with the fact that you could kill someone or be killed in the ring.
Yeah, and like, are you okay with that? Are you okay with leaving your family behind? Are you okay with leaving your kids behind? Like, you all right if you have to be in a coma the rest of your life?
Did you fight while you were pregnant? That's
No,
probably a stupid
clearly not.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
but I mean,
stupid
hey, probably never been asked that before. Hey, I came
First.
out fighting.
No.
They went for the body shot. I slipped and then boom, she's out. No, man, but yeah, I mean, shit. Yeah, that's real. And then we were saying that I think you said 13 people had died, like on average,
On average, every year.
every year
Every year.
from
Mhm.
boxing,
We
as
don't
I'm
e-
assuming amateurs or professionals.
Yeah, probably mostly pros, but I think some amateurs do. But you don't hear about it often. You don't hear about it, but it happens all the time.
Did you ever watch Creed?
No, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So is there? I'm sure there is. Remember how you started off the movie Boxing in Mexico?
Mhm.
There's shit like that going on where you can make money and bet
Oh,
on yourself and
yeah.
just like
Mhm.
collect.
Yeah.
Are there those kind of underground fights in America where you can and you don't have to name any specific places if that shit happens or if it does not. I know that's the amateur shit, but I'm saying, is there places like that?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
for sure.
Like
A lot of
private?
yeah, not even private. It's like if you're in that area, you'll hear about it or you'll be a part of it. But you got to start somewhere. And boxing ain't about where you at. It's really where you want to go or where you're going. So you kind of got to start down there, like Mexico and places like that. Underground stuff, just so you can.
Because those aren't sanctioned, right?
Yeah, they be sanctioned.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, they be sanctioned. Sometimes you can get some underground just for gambling. We did it all. Fight with Knuckles when I was growing up.
BKFC?
We was doing that before BKFC even came out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we was always fighting. It was like, when you box, a lot of people don't really understand that when you see a fighter, you look at them, you just think that they box, so you don't want to be on the street fighting. But they don't understand that we love fighting. So it's like we just want to get paid for it. But we'd rather fight anywhere. You know, fighting is fighting. You know, so if you love it, you love it. But it don't matter what it is, you know.
What's it about fighting you like?
I grew up in it's in my blood. Like,
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
But like you specifically, what is it about fighting that you like?
I just like to hurt. I like to crush motherfuckers. You know?
There
I
you
like
go.
to break their shit. You know, like even in the corner, like coaching, I like pain. You know, I like to make this guy, you know, because it's personal to me. You know, it's personal, and you know, like you know how you'll say somebody keeping you a hater out here, or
Yeah.
somebody don't want to see you make it, or this person stab you in the back. I believe when that you get in the ring with your opponent, he did it. You know, he the one. He trying to put you back in that situation.
Sure, you're taking everything that happened in
Yeah,
your
it's
life
personal.
and then just pointing it straight at that
Right at him.
person.
Yeah, it's personal because he in the way of your dreams and your goals. So I say we get through him and we go to the next. And keep
Like
it
Teddy
going.
Atlas said it right. Like life isn't fair or hasn't been fair. Maybe for a lot of fighters, and you say on any given night you can get in the ring and make life fair. So it's like you kind of like take
Yeah.
it out on your opponent, stuff that happened to you in your life, or people that did you wrong, or I don't know. You kind of get even.
It's like the fuel right there.
Mhm.
Even though that person had nothing to do with it,
Mhm.
but that's the motivating factor in wanting to knock the fuck out of somebody out right in front of you.
Yeah, it's personal. So you got people these days that they don't have that mentality. They don't have the mentality of this dude really want to hurt you. And they're like, no, he's just boxing. Nah, he really want to hurt you. Who don't want to catch a body? Everybody want to kill something, but when you hear the top fighters talk about it, they kind of bash them and say, oh no, you don't want to talk like that. You don't want to do that. But it's like it's the truth. This guy really want to hurt you. Why you think he training? Why you think he got 2 months of training just for you? He ain't in there just to get his hand raised. This guy want to make a name for himself and feed his family. You kind of gotta, if he got an infant child and he trying to feed his child, you gotta be ready to take that spoon out of his kid mouth and put it in your kid mouth. Somebody gonna eat and somebody ain't gonna eat. And who would you rather eat, your child or her child?
You know, it kind of reminds me of, I love the way you're explaining it, the movie Waterboy. You ever see Waterboy?
Mhm.
Where visualize an attack, and it's kind of what you're doing
Yeah.
when you're fighting in the ring. You're visualizing everything that makes you upset, angry, pissed off, whatever it is, and you're saying that's the guy I'm gonna fuck up because that's the mentality you need to be successful in boxing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then all the other stuff that comes with boxing, like the discipline, it gives you a regimen, keeps you in line,
Were either
You're
of
always-
one of you in the military?
No.
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 Oh, you said for country, so I didn't know.
Yeah, a lot of people, like when you fighting against somebody from Cuba or Philippines, or I mean, you see how they live, the country, it be kind of hard,
Yeah.
like real hard. And this who they trying to change their family life, and you in front of them, and you've been partying all week, you've been taking days off. This dude gonna kill you, cause he a killer, You'll kill for your family, and that's what we'll do in the ring. We'll kill for our family.
I mean, both of y'all are killers, it sounds like. Not sounds like it. Proven. Proven.
Yeah,
Because, you said you were world rank number 3 in the United States, but they won't give a title shot unless you're number 2.
No, like to qualify for the Olympics is like a whole.
Oh, yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, that was amateur.
I started a little late, and for starting late, we still made it up there. So, that was pretty cool.
So then, on April 26th, that fight is for a belt?
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yep.
Lightweight belt.
Lightweight. It's a WBC regional belt.
What's the difference between the belts? Because I always see some people walking out with like 4 or 5 belts. Is it just like, which
just
one
have
is
them
the one
all.
that you want, though? Which is the one that you, world champ, right?
Mhm.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there's 4. So or 5, but there's 4 sanctioning bodies that everybody has. So when you say you see people with all the belts, it's because they have them all. They've accumulated them all.
Did you ever lose a belt? Title defense?
I did.
Just once?
Mhm.
To Amanda Serrano?
No, it was my 9th fight.
You've only lost 2, though. right? I forget the.
And I really won. Just they didn't give it to me.
Oh yeah, the majority decision.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Pisses you off. So on. Actually, this Saturday, I know this is gonna be released after the fight that she's taking this Saturday. She also has another one, April 26th. This Saturday. Tell us about that one real quick.
So we have a
Who are
short
you
notice
fighting?
fight. Julia Castellani, I believe, is the name.
What's her ranking?
She's 72, something like that.
So that's not even fair.
Another victim.
You're like gonna destroy her.
That's the plan.
Well, I mean,
We're gonna go get some sparring for our next fight.
that's kind of what it sounds like, a sparring match.
No, but you know when you
I
get
mean,
in the
is
ring,
it fair to her that she's fighting you?
I mean they called us, so
Yeah.
they feel like they can beat us. They called us.
So Vince was telling me that there's A players and B players, and usually the A player will get set up with a B player. So she was probably the A player at the time, set up with a B player, and then you come in and you're gonna absolutely destroy her. And now you are the A player, and now she's the B player, which means that she's
I mean,
she's gonna get rocked,
Yeah,
right?
she don't know. You know, we know, but she don't know. It's
yeah,
like
she thinks she can beat us. She wouldn't get in the ring. Like it's when you get in the ring, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
So she believes she's not taking
Not
this
with
fight.
Stevie. Come
Yeah.
on.
She's not taking this fight because she thinks she's gonna lose. She's taking this fight because she believes she can win.
Do you think she's taking it just because she wants to fight and needs a paycheck? Because I'm assuming you guys are getting paid to do it, right?
Yeah, but for women, it's not life changing.
I know
So
it's not
if you
life-changing.
see a woman in any professional sport, it's because they love it. They signed up for it, not for the money, and that's a dangerous fighter.
Oh shit.
Mhm.
Actually,
So
I didn't
every
think
woman
about
fight
that.
is hard because we're not doing it for the money.
So I know you guys don't have too much time left here, but I want to do what we do at the end of every episode is that we ask each of our guests to give their last words, their final words, words of encouragement for our audience members that can be helpful to their daily lives, whether it could be about boxing, it could be about entrepreneurship, it could be about anything that you guys want to do, just whatever you want to give to the audience members out there. Let's start with Monyette.
For people that want to be a boxer and want to be a champion, want to be something special, just know you gotta give it all you got. You can't take no days off because this sport right here don't love nobody. Boxing don't love nobody. So you just do what you gotta do and try to get out of it in time. You know, reach your goal, let it go, and go do something else because this sport different. So
How can they reach you? Because you are a GM, right? Because you and also a trainer. How can they reach you if you want to share your information on how they people that because it sounds like you only deal with serious boxers, so
yeah.
not all you guys out there, okay? Just the ones that are ready to fight.
We got a website, Flowers Boxing Lab. I got Instagram, Monyette Boxing, Monyette_boxing, and
How do you spell that name?
MONYETTE
Yep.
_boxing. And you can find me on IG, and I answer everything. So they send me a DM, and we set something up, see what they got.
And you also have trainers under you as well, right?
Yeah, I got trainers that help me out, and not under me. I look at everybody the same, so we all work together. We all a unit.
Colleagues.
Yeah,
Colleagues.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
And then Stevie.
My
There's
words of
going to be
advice?
some powerful words here, I know.
Thanks.
She's
in
so
boxing-
enthusiastic,
In boxing,
guys.
we say plan B is to, there's plan A, and then plan B is always to make plan A work. So basically, there's no plan B, right? And that's how we do. I would say that's like in everything in life. Like, don't take no for an answer. Don't let anybody like deter you from what you think you can do, because not everybody thinks like you. So, like we were talking about in the beginning of the
Podcast
the podcast. Yeah. But yeah, don't take no for an answer. Like, don't have any plan Bs. Like, just go after what you want. Make sure you get a good team around you. Get somebody around you that'll tell you the truth. And yeah.
Wow, she is filled with a lot of words. I'm just kidding. Hey, bro, thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming
Thank
on. And this has been another episode of Happy Hour Holidays. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow. Oh, how can they reach you on your socials?
Stevie Morgan _boxing.
Okay, boom.
Instagram.
And then you already said yours. And once again, Happy Hour Holidays on all platforms, all fucking streaming shit. My brother usually does this part. And yeah, see you later.